Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time to have a look at a devlog post that the War Thunder team has put out, and this one is specifically talking about decompressing battle ratings at the high tiers of aviation and also accompanying changes to stock weapons. It is no secret that with changing technologies in War Thunder comes problems, and I feel like with the active radar humming update that we just had, Seek and Destroy, there was a lot of problems added in, whether it was a bunch of bugs on how these things worked, or whether it was the fact that the stock grind at top tier was literally impossible. No matter what you were playing, it was just you basically just had to die 50 or 60 times in order to get some amount of RP, in order to get decent weapons, so you could start doing something. And I think it's been probably in the worst place that it has been in a long time. And as a person who stock grinds vehicles, I don't GE anything when it comes to modifications or anything like that. There's no way I was going to touch it. Like, there was no way that any of that was going to happen. So basically, what we have here instead is they are going to be decompressing the battle ratings from 10.0 and above, so 10.0 to 13.0. They're bringing in a new maximum BR of 13.7, but understand that this does not affect ground. So for ground realistic, they are not changing any of the battle ratings, so they're all staying the same, which is one of the great things about this system now. With the system the way that it is now, you don't have to worry about the idea of having cross-pollination, so they can move the aircraft in air arcade and air realistic without having to worry about ground. Something that was asked for a long time, and now that we have it, means technically we should have more balance in the game now, which is obviously pretty good. So, a lot of these vehicles were not doing very well until they got their crazy missiles, and that is something that's happened quite a lot. They've actually talked about the fact that this has happened in the past as well, where they've had a major update which has added way better semi-active radar humming missiles or better IR guided missiles, and sometimes they have actually preemptively done some changes to try and help certain vehicles get through this, and that didn't happen this update. So as I said, it was just absolute hell. Now, one of the things which is good is the fact that they are making the stock grind easier. It will still be absolutely horrific for high-tier battles, especially with some of the monsters that they've added, but at least it will be slightly better. Before, you would only get access to short-range IR missiles, which when everybody else is using semi-active radar hummings or active radar hummings with their crazy radars, that doesn't really help you that much. And I do feel a lot of pity for the guys who were grinding out those vehicles in the proper way instead of just G'ing stuff. It must have just been impossible. Like, it's as a person who has stock grinded many vehicles over the years to completion, there is nothing worse than knowing that you have a vehicle on your hands, which is a good vehicle, but it's going to take you ages to get it to a point where it's usable. And that's what was happening with high-tier aviation. There's a lot of vehicles that I play now. Like, recently I've been playing the F100D for France to unlock the Super Étendard. It's not the best vehicle at its BR, but it is functional, and the main thing is it does have characteristics even when stock, which puts you in a very powerful position. Its speed, for example, means that you can set up a lot of fights the way that you want to. At high echelons, there was nothing that you could do in most of the vehicles that you played, so you just ended up in a horrific place. So, instead of just getting access to IR missiles now, you will also get access to 2 of the medium-range missiles. Now, medium-range missiles means the semi-active ones. So missiles which are stuff like the R-27R, for example, the AIM-7s, stuff like that. And so you won't get access to the active radar humming ones, but you'll get access to the semi-actives. And we'll have to see what that looks like, right? And the other thing which is quite nice is if you are a vehicle which only gets access to 2 of them, the modification will be removed and you'll be refunded the modification research that you've put into it. So this is pretty standard practice, I would say. When I have a look at War Thunder's history, you know, this stuff like this has happened quite a lot over time, and the fact that they're raising them from 10.0 to 13.0 shows that there's a few other issues, by the way, going on instead of just the top tier of the game, because, hey presto, there isn't any active radar homing missiles at 10.0. There's barely any semi-actives, and they're all pretty worthless as well, apart from one, which is the AIM-9C, which is quite fun, which catches people out. But anyway, let's actually have a look at the BR changes themselves. So here we can see them in their entirety. And so, for example, we have a lot of strike aircraft that are going up in BR in realistic. Don't know why they're putting up the A7D. That's just rude. But there is a lot of them which are going up from 10.0. This will release pressure from 9.0 and 9.3, meaning that all of the monsters from 9.0 and 9.3 can come out again. The F-100, the MiG-19, the F-104, all of them are still very good to this day, by the way. It's just that they get dragged up into 10.0 and 10.3, and if you don't know how to face all-aspect missiles without countermeasures from slow vehicles, you are going to struggle. But you can see here, it's basically a generic increase in BR, right? There isn't really anything here that should be too obvious. There's a few 10.7s which are going to 11.3. Hilarious that these guys, the F-104Gs, are going up to 11.3. Good luck with those, I suppose. Don't know why this one, the F-104G here, is going up, but the German one isn't. Or, oh no, it is, sorry, it's right here. But yeah, so all of these are going from 10.7 to 11.3, and there is a lot of vehicles which are moving just slight BR brackets here and there. I don't think I agree with a ton of these going up all the way. They're obviously putting up, once again, pretty much everything, but it's just the fact that they're just skipping 11.0 as a BR, and there are a few vehicles going up to 11.0, as you can see here. You know the hilarious one? Hey look, it's the F5C. You know that vehicle that... all of the F5s are going up to 11.0. Have they forgot about the F5E? I don't see it in the list. Maybe I could just Control F real quick, because I've got a feeling they may have forgotten about it. So we have the F5A, and then we have the F5C, the F5ES. Oh no, there we go. So yeah, they are actually putting up these vehicles to where they should be. What is nice about decompression in general is what it leads to is vehicles obviously being balanced better, meaning that you will have better times with them and also against them. There are a lot of vehicles in the game, especially between the 10.0 and 11.0 area, which are what would be classed as oppressive, meaning that they are played a lot and they are very powerful. The F5s are one of these, and they tried to put them up in BR previously, and people didn't want them up in BR. So now they're going up in BR because they are oppressive. They're very annoying to play against, and basically what these changes do is it will shake up the meta, especially at the higher echelons, but it will shake up the meta of kind of that area just below the high echelons, which has been dominated by premiums for the longest of time. Stuff like the F5C, the A10, for example, MiG-23s that turn up, and also things like the F4Ss. So hopefully it just shakes up the meta a little bit. They also did change simulator battles, obviously, so if you are interested in that, make sure to check it out. But the main one is the presets, right? So you can see here what is kind of interesting is certain vehicles, basically the high echelon ones, such as the end-of-the-line vehicles, actually get access to AIM-120s. So the F-14A and F-14B, by the way, once again, incredibly oppressive vehicles. Which, if you've played around 11.0 recently, has just been hilariously bad. You can see what they're doing with the F-14. So they're bumping them up to BR brackets once again. Look at this, by the way. Look at the F-4E JK. It's getting bumped up a whole... What? What? They better be adding something to this. What is this? Japan once again suffers. But anyway, yeah, they're bumping up the F-14s along with everything else. So once again, takes a little bit of pressure away from that 11.0 area. And one of the things that should be quite nice for a lot of vehicles is that, as I said, they actually face stuff which makes more sense to them. So for a decent chunk of vehicles, so the F-16s, the F-14s, the F-15s, all of the end-of-the-line vehicles, especially ones that they recently added, those vehicles will get access to active radar homing missiles, but only about 2 of them, right? Everything else below, so the F-15, for example, gets access to the AIM-7M. I don't know what's going on with the F-16A here. I don't know why it's getting 2 AIM-9Js and 2 AIM-9Ls, but the ADF is getting the AIM-7Ms. And yeah, so it should hopefully make it a little bit easier for people to grind out. And the major takeaway is if you're playing a top tier vehicle, you will get access to a small amount of active radar homing missiles. If you're playing anything which is below that period for, you know, basically the area below it, instead of the fully top tier, you'll get access to the semi-active radar homings like these ones, and then everything else gets access to a few other things too. I'm guessing they're going to change this. I don't know what's going on with this. Well, actually, no, maybe not, because the standard F-16A doesn't actually get access to semi-actives, does it? It only gets 6 AIM-9Ls. So yeah, this might actually be fair. Never mind. But yeah, so now this is obviously a lot better than it was previously. You get access to more weaponry instead of being in a situation where you can't get access to it and you just get hammered. Hopefully this, hopefully on top of this, we also get something else, and the something else will hopefully be some modification reductions, because a lot of the times with vehicles like this, modification reductions actually helps them the most, and I can't remember the last time we had some modification reductions at the end of the day. But this will release a lot of pressure off the 9.0-10.0 area. It will release a lot of pressure off the 10.0-11.0 area, and hopefully it just means more things are found and had fun with. Good luck in the F4C, by the way. Don't know why that's going up as much as it is. Good luck in the Buccaneer as well, and the A7s. So, very sad. Hopefully at some point those things get a little bit of help, but today is not that day. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.